Good morning, class 6. Today we will continue with the chapter A Pact with the Sun. We have done the introduction in the previous class, so today we will restart reading the chapter. Saida's mother has not received proper medical treatment for her complaints. She is denied healthy food, sunshine, and fresh air. At last, she consults a good physician who gives her effective medicine and sound advice. Saida's mother had been ailing for a long time. Fever, cough, body ache, painful joints, and what not. Treated by a variety of physicians for weeks. She often showed signs of improvement, but soon relapsed into her old, sick self, one complaint substituted by another. Though weak and colorless, she was forbidden normal food and was under strict orders to remain perpetually confined to her small, dingy room with doors and windows fastened, deprived of sunshine and fresh air. So, this story is about Saida's mother, who was ill for quite a long time. She was suffering from fever, cough, body ache, and had painful joints. The list is endless. So, she has been treated by different physicians for weeks. So, sometimes after taking the medicine, she showed sign of recovery, but again relapse. That means she had again fallen ill. One thing was like she recovered from one thing, so developed some other thing. So that was kind of going on. Her room was like closed properly so that sunshine could not come inside. She was not given proper food, that is a normal food, considering that she was unwell, so she shouldn't be eating all that. Let's continue. When she became critical, her relatives and neighbors persuaded her to consult a specialist, even though his fee was likely to be high. So when her condition worsened, then her relatives and neighbors suggested her that she should consult a specialist, although his fee would be very high in comparison to a normal physician. Life is more precious than money, they said. Saida's mother was poor, but she heeded their advice and sold a few trinkets to pay the doctor's fee and the cost of medicine. So she was very poor, but then she sold some few items from her house to get the money which she could give to the doctor as his fee and could pay for the medicines. The doctor came in a few days and examined her and prescribed effective but costly medicine. To the question as to what she should eat, he said, "Anything you wish to eat: chapati, vegetable, milk, fruits, etc." And in addition to all this, he added emphatically, "Leave this dark hovel and occupy a, a bigger room with doors and windows open. Sit in the sun every morning from 8 to 9. Sunshine and fresh air," he concluded, "are more important than medicine." So the doctor came for a few days, examined her, gave her some few expensive medicines, and this is the first question which people ask when they see a doctor, that what should be eaten. So the doctor said that she could eat anything which she want, like vegetables, chapati, milk, fruits, etc. But he was adamant that she should sit in sun for some time and she should leave that dark, dingy room, should not be staying in that room which was small and where sunshine was forbidden. He said that sunshine and fresh air is the most important medicine which she needs. The doctor and his advice became a subject of noisy commentary among all present. Some favored while others, chronic cough was dangerous and an experienced lady declared. So the doctor advised when he advised that she should leave the dark dingy room and that she should sit in the sun and fresh air for some time. So that conversation became the topic of discussion for the relatives who were sitting there. Some of them started discussing over it. So one of some said that it is very true that she should be doing this. Some were opposed, some were against it, some opposed it. Then exposure to sun and air for someone afflicted with chronic cough was dangerous, an experienced lady declared. A younger neighbor nearly quarreled with her over this. Too exhausted to participate in the debate, Saida's mother remained quiet but determined to follow the doctor's advice. Forget the consequences, she said at last. I will carry out his instructions to the letter. Move my bed into the next room and let me sit in the sun on my charpoy for an hour daily. So, one old lady said that since she is having a chronic cough, she shouldn't be sitting in sun. That could be dangerous. Whereas a young relative, he started almost they were having a argument over it, but Saida's mother was not well to participate in the argument. So, but then she had made up her mind that she is going to follow the instructions given by the doctor. That means she is going to sit in the sun. So she said that shift my chair bed from here to the next room, and from next day keep my charpoy outside for an hour so that I can sit in the sun. It so happened that the sky remained overcast next morning. The same was the case the following day. So the next 2 days there was no sunshine. Saida's mother was dejected. She was sad. She muttered, O Lord of mine, why have you ordered the sun to remain hidden? How will I ever be cured? So since 2 days the sun was not out, so Saida's mother was very dejected, very sad, and she spoke to God and she said that she said to God that why he has not allowed sun to come out, and if the sun will not come out, how she will recover. Saida was playing with her doll nearby and she heard her mother's lament but kept calm. Later in the afternoon, when she stumbled on a spot of pale sunshine in the courtyard, she ran to her mother to say the sun was there. No, no, said everybody present. It's too late and chilly. Your mother can't sit out there. Disheartened, Saida returned to her doll. There was no sun really except for its last remnant entangled in the top branches of the family mango tree. So when Saida's mother was praying to God, Saida overheard her because Saida was playing with her doll outside, but she didn't say anything. After some time, she saw that sunshine was there in the courtyard, so she quickly ran to her mother to tell her that now she can sit in the sun. But by that time it was too late, so other relatives said that now it is very late, and if she will sit outside, she might get catch cold. So Saida returned to her doll, although she was sad, disheartened, and then after some time she noticed that the sunlight had faded away and it could be seen only entangled in the top branches of the family mango tree. Now, children have at their command a secret language, foreign to grown-ups altogether, in which they fluently communicate with trees, flowers, animals, the sun, and the moon, perhaps even with the Almighty. Using that special language, Saida addressed her remark to the last departing ray of the sun. Dearest sister, do come tomorrow with lots of warmth and brightness. You see, my mother is ill and needs your help. So it is said that small children, they communicate with like everything present in the nature. They can talk to the birds, the plants, the trees, even to the god. So using that special power, Saida requested to the last departing sun rays and said that, dearest sister, please do come tomorrow and come with lot of warmth and brightness, because my mother is ill and she needs your help. Surely, answered the light. Don't look unhappy. We will be here at fixed hour. So that sunlight promised Saida that next day we are going to come and we'll be there at the fixed hours. Next day, early in the morning, when the sprightly sun rays embellished themselves for their journey down to earth, the sun said, it's our day off again. We are staying up here. The road to earth is blocked by an army of thick, mucky clouds. The little rays so much wanted to go down for a lark, but they remained quiet. So next day, when the sun rays were ready to come down to the earth, the cloud, the sun god said that today again we are on leave. That means we are off. We are not going down to the earth, as the cloud is has there altogether, like it has covered. So it has blocked the way, and we will not be able to reach the earth. The road to earth is blocked. The little ray which has promised Saida that they are going to come the next day, wanted to say something, but then couldn't say anything. One of them, though, who had made a pact with the little Saida, said, Sir, I can't stay back. I have given my words to Saida, whose mother is ill and needs our help. I will pierce through the clouds to reach Saida's courtyard. How else will her mother be cured? So the sun ray, which has promised Saida that she is going to come the next day, she said to sun that I am going to earth because I have promised Saida, and if I will not go, how will her mother be cured? So she said that I am going to pierce through the crowd and reach the courtyard. Hearing this, all the rays nearly staged a revolt against their father, the sun. Fancy staying back again, they said in a single voice. What will the people of earth say about us? That we of the heavens have turned liars. So they said, then all of them unitedly said that if we will stay back today, then everybody on the earth will say that we are liars, because that sun ray has promised Saida that she is going to come the next day. The sun relented. Please yourselves, he said. Mind your clothes, though, the clouds are mucky. Never mind our clothes, we can always change. But go we must. And the rays rushed towards the earth. The clouds stood guard between them and Saida's courtyard. The little rays focused their heat, and they had enough of it, on battalions of cloud which had to flee from its post. The rays got through, shooting past the bewildered cloud. They were already late. So now the father, that is the sun god, said that take care of yourselves, of your clothes while you are going, because the cloud is mucky. That means it is full of water and it is dirty also. So they said that it is all right. Don't mind about it, because we can always change the clothes. And since they were getting late, so they quickly rushed to reach the courtyard. Saida saw the whole host of them approaching, and her heart leapt with joy. She shouted, Amma, Amma, the sun is here. Come out. The old lady's eyes welled up with tears of gratitude. Her charpoy was placed in the courtyard, and she sat on it for an hour, reclining against bolster. Bolster is that what you call masnad. It had been months since she had felt the sun on her hands and face and breathed in fresh air. She thought she was in a new world. Though pale, her face glowed and her eyes shone bright. She saw her child too bathed in sunlight and kissed her. The morning air brought in new fragrance from nearby flowers. The birds chanted a new tune. Saida's mother felt better already. She is fully recovered now, but she still follows the doctor's advice, an hour of sunlight and lungful of fresh air every day. So when Saida saw that the sunlight is coming, so quick, she was very thrilled, very happy. So she shouted her and called her mother, and the old lady was also happy when, and there were tears of gratitude in her eyes. Her eye charpoy was placed in the courtyard. She brought the bolster with her, as she had not seen the sun for months. So she could feel that sunlight on her, although because she was ill for so many days, though her skin was pale, but still she could feel her eyes shone brightness because of the sun. And she, like, promised herself that she is going to follow whatever the doctor has advised her, that is, she will be taking the sunlight at least for an hour every day. This whole story has been written by Zakir Hussain, and it is it was initially in Urdu, which has been translated into English, and slight modifications have also been done. Thank you, class. Take care of yourselves. Be safe at home.